Okay, light blue. Coming on light blue. It says, for what values of x does the graph of h have an inflection point? Now, this is very, very important. Listen to me, Stews. You do not have an inflection point unless the sign changes on f double prime. You do not have an inflection point unless the sign changes. Okay, so first, we got to get crazy. We got to find our h prime. I'm going to be lazy and not write the x there. If I multiply it by 4, I get negative 3x. No, that's not right. If I multiply it by 4, I get negative 6. Okay, and guys, at any point, you're like, wait, what do you mean negative 6? I don't get that. Just ask me questions because I want to answer them. 3 times 6, that'll be 18. X squared plus 70, 144x. Now that's h prime. I don't want him. I need a point of inflection, so I need to find h double prime. So I got to do the derivative again. So I have 18x squared plus, what is that? 36? 36x plus, what's 2 times 72? No, that's not it. That's 144. All right, did I do everything else right? Yes. Okay, I'm going to pause here and let you guys try to find the rest. And yes, I can take out a negative 18. So I get an x squared minus 2x minus... How many times does 18 go in the 144? Is it 8 times? Thank you. I don't like doing arithmetic. Okay, so I took out a negative 18, and then I factor x squared minus 2x minus 8. I have to find two numbers that multiply to give me 8, but then add to give me negative 2, which is going to be x minus 4, and x positive 2, with a negative 18 chilling out in front. So I got my two possible inflection points. These are not your inflection points. These are possible inflection points. I got negative 2 and positive 4 because that's what I would plug into those to give me 0. Okay, I got my possible inflection points. Now we need to find the positive or negatives. Positives or negatives. And so I'm going to pick a negative 3 to plug in. I'm going to pick a 0 and a 5. Why did you pick those ones? Because they are in those intervals. Negative 3 is before negative 2, so let's test negative 3. And you can pick any number over there that you want. Okay, so I plug in negative 3. Now I'm going to plug in negative 3 to the factored version because it makes it a lot faster, a lot easier. Pay attention, check it out. I plug in negative 3 right here. What is negative 3 minus 4? Is that a positive or negative? Negative! All right, you guys paying attention? If I plug in negative 3 right here and I add 2, is that a positive or negative? Negative. So we have a negative times a negative times a negative. Will that be negative or positive? Negative. That'll be negative. Beak. Okay. Now let's plug in 0. Ooh, my favorite. Okay, if I plug in 0 here, it's a negative. I plug in 0 here, it's a positive. So I have a negative times a positive. What is that? Positive. Positivo. Okay, and then I plug in the 5. This is my last one. I plug in 5 right here. I get a positive. I plug in 5 here. I get a positive. So I have a negative times a positive, which is negative. Dang. Does the sign change at negative 2? Yes. Does the sign change at 4? Yes. So my answers are negative 2 and 4. X equals negative 2, negative 4. Okay, someone just asked the question, why is this negative 18 still there? I'm thinking, Kiara, you're thinking like, why don't I just divide both sides by negative 18 and get rid of it? Is that what you're thinking? Yes. Which technically, it normally wouldn't matter. However, if you take away this negative, you're changing the way this parabola looks, right? And you don't want to do that. You want to do something that's going to change the way the parabola looks. If we divided both sides by negative 18, would we still find negative 2 and 4? Yes, we would, because you're following the rules of solving an equation. But if you do divide by a negative, you're going to change the way that equation looks, or the way the function looks on the graph. Even if you simplify with a positive number, you would change the way the graph looks, except with the positive number, you're not going to flip the graph. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but try it. Graph this without the 18, negative 18, and then put it in. You'll see how much the graph changes, and that changes all your answers. And actually what that will do, that'll change all these signs. All these signs will be the opposite if you divide both sides by negative 18. Good question.